Good morning. It's Jonathan Barratt with the on-the-go overnight market report, or the morning debrief, for Friday, April the 30th, last day of the trading month. And there goes April. A good night last night on the Dow. Dow was quite positive. Also, shares in Europe were quite positive as well. Looks like the market's getting placated over the sovereign debt concerns, and obviously that contagion that could spread through Portugal and Spain. As a result of that, we saw France and Germany come out jointly giving statements of support to Greece, and that was quite positive. In addition to that, we had some good earnings out of America, and we also had a very positive 10-year note auction as well in the States. So overall, quite a positive night, and certainly the Dow had a good positive close as well. Let's just have a look at some of those closes. Here we go. The Dow up 122 points, 11,167. The S&P is up 15. The Nasdaq up 40, and the Russell up 15. So quite positive. In the States, most important news: Motorola and Starwood gain purely on the back of their earnings, which were quite positive. Other news: we had Papandreou, the austerity pitch, slams unions, but let's see how that. But I think the most important thing there is that we had a joint agreement there out of Germany and France. On the economic fronts, European economic confidence rose to its highest level in more than 2 years, and the Bank of Japan looking to keep interest rates at 0.1%, and that's quite steady. We do have a whole raft of data out in Japan today, so we'll see how that unfolds. So there we are with America. America was up. Europe also had a positive night as well. Europe, Stoic was up. It's up 39. The FTSE was up 31. The DAC was up 60, and the CAC was up 53. So pretty good. Optimism's there. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, as a result of that, I think you'll find perhaps some of those risk aversion trades actually start to come off. Let's see what happens to the US dollar as a result of that. Anyway, moving on, let's just have a look at usual markets. And there we go. The dollar index pretty steady at 82.14, and pretty steady at 82.14. And I guess if it breaks through that 82, then dollar weakness commences. If not, this sort of formation here does look a little bit more perky. So let's see whether or not we do see that US dollar continuing to firm. I'm of a mixed mind at the moment on that. Okay. If we do have a look at the little Aussie market at the moment, it's a 92.80. And if anything there, probably a little bit more sideways price action. But I do actually like and enjoy this chart because, as you can see, it's trading perfectly in a range. And as a result of that, that sort of thing bodes pretty well for a market to move higher. But let's see how that unfolds. Okay, now just quickly on to, whilst we're on the Aussie, onto the local markets. Look at the SPY, 48.53. People know we closed out our short the other day. And quite happy about that. We got a good nipped a little quick profit. It was a quick trade. Let's see how it occurs today, but still quite positive. Still expect a little bit of weakness, but not too much. But I think given the lead from Wall Street, we should start to trade higher with the SPY today, or the general market should start to trade higher as well. Okay, having a look at some of the primaries. If we have a look at copper, what's happening with copper first. We took a small short there last night. On a breakthrough that to 333, and at the moment, let's see how it unfolds. Might just sort of wind down, nothing too aggressive, but yeah, let's keep close to that one. When I look at the daily charts for copper, it certainly says that the trend is still down the lower end, and as you can see, the way it did close here, it's perhaps not all that positive. But let's see what happens over the next 24 hours. On the crude market, now if everyone did read the crude report we put out, we are quite optimistic that crude will continue its march higher. This is all purely based on the back of optimism. Just optimism is where we're at with it. So optimism, I think we had a little bit of interesting data last night as well. Obviously up around 85.63, so looking quite good there. Onto the gold market. We also took a short in gold last night at silver, so let's go to gold. We just felt that given what Europe was doing and given the positive outcomes there, that perhaps gold at these levels perhaps is not just 100% warranted yet, and probably expect, let's see, a little bit of a pullback anyway. We have an interesting strategy that if you follow the tweets, you'll be able to see what it is, because it's It's just looking at to try and get a trend or continuation trend or a failing trend. So have a look at that one and see how that unfolds. Okay, just looking at some of the softs, we look at corn, and still, as you can see, very interesting movement. We had that little wedge there which we looked at, and as you can see, it seems to have broken out of that little area. When you look at the hourly charts, you get a good story as well, and we're just wondering whether or not that movement with that spike coming back and down again, whether or not that's just an exhaustive move, or whether or not it's sustainable. So just be close on that one. Soybean and corn, exactly the same thing there. Wheat is also one, we always like to have a look at it. A little bit of a blip there, but she's come back, so a little bit hard to tell at the moment on that one. Okay, having a look at the economic calendar. Most important things in Australia, we've got HIA new home sales, private sector credit, which will be important. We've got vehicle motor registrations in Japan and construction orders. We've also got GDP in the States, GDP price index in the States, and also we've got some more purchasing managers indexes, so that's going to be quite interesting on that. So a little bit of data there. Let's see what sort of confidence comes out of the market from those. But as we said, we're getting good positive earnings, which is good news, particularly in the States. Let's see what happens in Europe. Obviously, a little bit of concerns with contagion there, but that will slowly placate the market as time progresses. Looks like Greece will make its May 19th deadline, but only time will tell at the moment. Well, that's about it from us. I hope you have a good trading day, and we'll try and talk to you tomorrow. Happy trading.